figure it
the
out later.
VOD.
It's fine. Don't fucking worry about it. Yeah. So.
Yeah, VOD starts here. I'm just gonna do another intro because I forgot to start recording the VOD. So hello everyone. 2022 end of year live stream discussion on films that we missed. Uh, Jules quickly wanted to talk about his cinema experience today. I can talk about my cinema experience today. And yeah, it's just gonna be, this is just a little end of the year, little treat, little thing. So yeah,
Yeah. So this is gonna be a little more
the VOD. Yes, Jasper.
um low key. Yeah, just kind of like less structured, so we can just kind of approach this however we want. So yeah.
Yes. All right.
Yes. Okay, I suppose, yeah. Went to see Akira earlier today, which I'd never seen before in the Astor, which is
Oh
the
wait,
biggest.
I should probably mention. Uh,
Yeah.
don't reveal any. This is a live stream. Don't say public places. Don't reveal your stuff. You don't want to dox
Was it in
yourself or
Australia?
anything. Okay, it's somewhere in Australia. That's fine
Yeah,
to
it's
say.
somewhere in the great area.
Yeah,
Cut
don't.
that out, Luca, in the VOD.
Yeah, I'll cut that out in the VOD. You know.
Thank God no one's here yet, Jasper. Don't reveal anything.
Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah, I
just be
went to
careful what
see-
you say on live stream.
I went to see Akira at the second biggest screen in my city, so the only one that's not an IMAX screen. I'd never
Mhm.
seen Akira before, and it was fucking awesome. Of
Hell
the
yeah.
movie, actually, we've watched the start of it, and 2 minutes in, the screen just froze, and they had to restart it. Which
That's
was kind of
hilarious.
Yeah, that
devastating.
happened to me in
I
Avatar.
Oh
Yeah.
shit, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I had to be the one who had to run out to tell the employees. I had to be that guy.
Hmm.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you gotta do it. You gotta do it, man. So,
Yeah, I gotta do it because no one else is gonna do it because they're all just like awkward to stand up.
yeah. How did you feel
It's not
about
business.
Akira? I'm glad you enjoyed it. Yeah, I'm jealous. I've never seen the film in theaters. I've seen it a bunch of times at home when I was in high school, but I've never gotten to see it in a theater. So how was that experience?
It was awesome. It was a 4K print, so it looked really great on the screen.
Hmm.
Um, everything, all the animation looked fantastic. I was really into the story.
You
Yeah,
didn't
I
think
thought
it
it was
was a
just
bit
fantastic.
confusing? You didn't think the story was a bit
A
confusing?
little bit at the start, but then I was like, okay,
Hmm.
I get where this is
Yeah, I
going.
think the more times you watch the film, the more the story just kind of clicks and like makes sense. Because I definitely remember the
Yeah.
first time I saw the movie, I was like, this doesn't make any fucking sense. Either that or I'm just like dumb and I'm just not following what's happening. But yeah, like the more times you see it, the more everything just starts making more sense. So yeah, I'm glad you picked it up real fast. Um,
Yeah, for
yeah,
I'd say for the first quarter of the film, I was like, wait, what the fuck's happening? Who are these characters again? But
I
then
thought that
I
this
was
was
like, oh
about
wait,
bikers. Yeah.
yeah, I didn't know the slide was gonna be so early on in the film.
Mhm.
I don't know
Yeah.
why that of all things has become so iconic about the film.
Yeah, that's something I've never understood either. It's like, yeah,
Yeah,
the slide looks fucking
it's not like
badass.
it does look badass, but it's not like it was like a really innovative piece of animation. I don't think.
It's like the thing that's like you'd think is just the most minor thing in the world, but like people just
No, yeah,
think of that when it's like when like people think of like Pinocchio, they think of like his nose growing like super long when he lies, even though like that's like what like 5 minutes of the whole movie, like in the original Disney one.
yeah,
Like no one's like that was barely a feature, but like that's the thing everyone somehow remembers him for. So and like Akira is
exactly.
the same thing. Yeah, so yeah, and I don't know what it is
And
about the slide that like got so many people to like, like parody it and like reference it and so many other shit.
yeah,
Like I mean, I'm glad it is because it's like Akira's a great film, but like I don't, I, it always leaves me wondering why this is the thing specifically that they're referencing.
yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
I could see how it influenced a lot of a lot of stuff over the years, like the in spoilers. Can I talk spoilers a little bit?
I mean, sure, yeah, I guess.
Saying it right, Luca?
I've seen Akira, yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And the Tetsuo turns into like the giant big goop monster. They
Hmm.
get like kind of sucked inside it. I was like, damn, this is like kind of feels like
Terrifying.
Nope in a way.
Oh,
And
yeah, I
Well,
guess
yeah,
Nope
so.
did
yeah.
take from
Jordan
Akira.
Peele did do the Akira's live
Yeah.
action.
Yeah, and he was offered the Akira live action movie apparently, so maybe he
And
took
that's
some ideas
God,
from
that
Taika
that.
sounds
Waititi's doing that.
awful. No one should make an Akira
Taika
live action
Waititi's making
movie.
that film now.
Yeah, and a live action Akira sounds like a fucking horrible idea. Like, but that hasn't stopped
Yeah.
Hollywood from making another shitty live action adaptation that I'm probably gonna go see out of frustration. So,
Did we not
yeah,
learn from like the last Airbender? But yeah, I
yeah,
could
I
see
guess
like
so.
for like the psychic kids, I was like, oh, this probably influenced like Stranger Things and shit. And yeah,
Oh, the geezer
it was just
babies?
yeah, the geezer babies.
Yeah. Yeah, apparently I don't, and I'm not, I forgot where I heard this from, but apparently Eleven's powers in Stranger Things is based off of like the telekinesis that the geezer babies can do and stuff. So,
Yeah,
um,
I could totally see that.
yeah, if you're interested, Jules, so in case you didn't know, the movie is based off of a manga of the same sort of the same name, and it's directed by the
Really.
guy who made the manga. And apparently there's actually more story than just the movie. Like apparently the end, I haven't read the
Oh.
manga, but apparently the ending to the movie is just fucking different than from the manga because when the movie
Interesting.
was being made, the guy who created the manga was like, but the manga isn't finished, and then the producer's like, well, I don't know, just kind of like make some shit up or whatever, you know. So he made a different ending, which is great. I love the ending to Akira, but the story doesn't end there. If you read the
It's like
manga,
not
the
even my
story
favorite
like
part about it.
continue. Yeah,
Yeah.
like I mean, yeah, the ending is great, but like the story continues. There is more story to the Akira manga than just that moment. So like, yeah, if you're interested in more Akira shit, I recommend you check out the manga.
Yeah,
So
Jasper's been talking about
Yeah.
the manga in chat. Yeah.
yeah, Jasper's got me. He knows what's up.
Yeah.
All
We'll
Hmm.
right.
get Jasper, I promise.
Well,
Yeah.
is that all you have to say about Akira? We can't really have a big conversation on
Yeah,
everything, or we'll be here for ages. But
I'll
yeah.
Yeah.
go Puss in
So
Boots now.
Should I talk about Puss in Boots quick?
yeah, cool. Yeah, tell us about Pussy
Yeah,
and Bootsy.
I won't go that into that. Pretty much, I just had a stressful morning, and the reason why I was late was because I had to bus home, even though I wasn't supposed to. Pretty much, how do I describe this? I was supposed to take two people with me, and they decided they didn't want to go last minute. So I had three tickets for Puss
Jasper.
in Boots. It wasn't Jasper. It wasn't Jasper. Um, it was, yeah, whatever. But so I had to go and I had to cash in three tickets for Puss in Boots, even though I was going by myself. And the cinema was pretty much empty, and it was honestly really good. Like it. I don't know. I mean, I guess I can just talk freely because I don't really know how to talk about Puss in Boots with by spoiling it. I don't think there's really anything you can spoil in this movie,
Hmm.
besides one thing. But yeah, no, it just had a really great animation style that I didn't expect to see from it. Like it had like Spider-Verse style, except it still worked because it felt
As far
comic-y,
as
but
that
it was
seems like what I
still
got from the
like
trailer.
it still felt very like whimsical and magical, even though it did kind of have that same style. Um, and yeah, I just think like the art direction and like storyboarding and everything was great, and like the action sequences were fun, and it's probably like the best thing in like the Shrek franchise, I guess, since like the first like Shrek film or first two Shrek films. So yeah,
I
it
mean
was
that, but
just
that's not a very high standard to hit though. So
well, I think this film was really. I think it was. I thought it was really good. It did have some cheesy bits up in it, but like it was like Pinocchio in the sense where it was like fantasy world commenting on death and mortality and like kind of like has a bit of dark tinges to it. Um but still very like whimsical and musical and stuff like that. It's not a
Yeah,
musical though, but it just has. And I honestly thought it was better than Pinocchio. Like I had such a blast watching this film, and maybe it was because I watched it in the theater. I think maybe even like the art direction was better than Pinocchio, but it just had some like great shots and great like action scenes. It was just fun. It was just a ton of fun, and I really liked it.
hmm
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I'm interested in checking out. I didn't think I'd give a shit, but yeah, all the
No, it's
things you've been
good.
saying, I've been
It's
hearing
good.
about. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I don't know how to describe it, but yeah, it was fun, and it was also very much like Shrek and like poking fun of like fairy tales and like old stories and stuff. But this one like poked at, like fun at like some of the underrated ones, and it was just very funny. It like, yeah, um, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, it was
I
good.
mean, yeah, that's what it should have been because I remember I saw the first Puss in Boots a long time ago. I barely remember anything about it. And like the biggest issue was that it played all the fairy tale angles straight when it should have taken a subversive approach the
Yeah,
same way the Shrek films did. Yeah.
yeah.
So like this sounds like it's like back on course
So
or something.
this
So
one kind of has like a normal generic ass like fantasy world story, but I think it kind of knows that it is doing that, and it like kind of is self-aware about it, and then also just like the jokes about the world and the characters also just give this feeling of self-awareness. So
okay.
it's
Yeah.
just
I mean,
like,
I'm just
yeah.
interested in seeing it for like the crazy art style because
Hmm.
like the clips that I saw, like it had a lot of like it looked almost like paintbrushy. Like it was
It
like
was. It's not.
okay,
Yeah,
because
yeah. It was weird because I was like, I wasn't expecting it. At the beginning, I was like, "Whoa, this isn't like a normal 2D animated. Like, this doesn't look like the last Puss in Boots." But I honestly want every single other Shrek or DreamWorks or whatever movie to be like this because it just looked great.
oh no, baby, no. Okay, this is nostalgia baby brain talking.
Is
But if it
it?
doesn't look exactly like Shrek 2, then Shrek 5, then I'm gonna be so disappointed. I want nothing to
Okay,
change.
okay. Well, maybe
Puss in
once
Boots, you can
you.
do whatever the fuck you want, but Shrek has to stay the same, no matter what. That is
Yeah,
you can't change it.
they
Yeah.
probably won't change the Shrek
We'll
art style,
boycott DreamWorks if Shrek
but
looks
like,
slightly different.
yeah, it just
Yeah.
worked
I'll.
really well for this, honestly. Like,
It's gonna be
yeah.
like Chris
Mhm.
Chan Sonic thing.
Whoa. Okay. I don't. Don't
No,
bring that up.
no.
Jesus.
No, I'm not referring to that incident. I'm referring to when she maced the GameStop employee because Sonic's arms were blue.
Oh. Okay. Yeah. No. I guess in that case, yeah, that's where me and Chris Chan have our similarities lie. Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right.
I want to see the movie. I honestly would prefer seeing this over Babylon because like 3 hours of crazy shit. It's like I'll just take Puss in Boots if
Yeah,
that's okay.
I'm
So
gonna go watch Babylon when it comes out. Yeah, but
I
yeah,
mean, yeah, I'm gonna see it too,
definitely
but
go
it's like,
watch it on the big screen, Puss in Boots.
hmm
Honestly.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's the way it was meant to be seen.
hmm
All right. Should we go on to the proper discussions now?
yeah,
Uh,
I guess so. I mean, might as well. So
okay. So what should we do
uh,
first?
do you want to just do it in alphabetical order?
Let's do Triangle of Sadness first because we kind of got that one cut out of our video. It kind of out of our latest
Yeah.
episode. It kind of got scuffed. So
Yeah, that's fair.
okay.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah,
Let me
I don't want
get
to
the
spend too
poster
much time
up.
on this one because we've already had a whole I know it's been
Wow.
scrapped, but it's like we've already said everything we wanted to say. But yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Yeah.
Yeah, we can put it up
Movie
quickly.
fucking slaps.
Yeah, it's
Don't
good.
start yet. Don't start yet. I'm putting up the poster.
I mean, I think us saying it's good is not like the most indicative thing in the world. Like, of course it is. So,
um, Triangle of Sadness. Spoilers. Okay. Okay.
by Ruben Oslund.
Okay, cool. Oh, let me center that a bit better. Okay. Okay, cool. We can start now. um, so yeah,
Yeah, it's fucking great. I loved it.
yeah,
That's I mean it won the Palme d'Or, so it had to have some level of quality to it, I guess. So
yeah. No, I really love this film. It was like, it's definitely up there for me. Like, on my films of the year. I just I knew it won the Palme d'Or and stuff, and like I knew it was probably going to be a good movie, and then I watched it and I had such a fun cinema experience, and I was just laughing my ass off, and I loved the tone and the style, and and the characters and how everything was like pieced together, and it just turned out being like one of the funniest satires of this year. Like,
yeah, it's probably one of the funniest comedies I've seen this year. It's just there was
yeah.
never a moment where I wasn't bored or where I wasn't entertained. Like I was pretty entertained throughout the entire film, you know?
Yeah,
So
exactly. Me too. I loved it, and a lot of people have been saying it's like, it's too on the nose, it's too in your face, and that's very much the point of it.
It's kind of the point.
But
yeah,
also there's
like
a
it's
lot of subtext as well, like with
and
the
I feel like
title
you
and
can't really
everything.
communicate a theme like this without being in your face. It's like this is not something that like that subtlety is not going to get this across. Like you need to be very explicit and very open about like these themes of like class and like divisions and like hierarchy
Yeah,
and stuff like that. So it's like it's very appropriate for what it is. So it can get repetitive, sure. Like I felt like sometimes the comedy or like the class can get a little repetitive, but like it's like it works for what it is. So hmm
yeah, no, like you can't have a movie about stupid rich people and not have the rich people be stupid subtly. Like,
yeah. How do you
you,
even
it's
do that
gotta be in
subtly?
your face. It's gotta be like, just look at the types of people that like rule the world, and like, yeah. It's just, yeah, that you can't do something like this subtly, and I loved like all the different character studies and everything like this film does,
like
and like,
it's like trying to do like something like Parasite subtly. Like you can't do Parasite subtly.
yeah,
It's like it has to be
exactly,
very explicit in your face. Yeah. hmm
yeah. And yeah, I just thought it was an awesome movie.
Yeah.
um
A lot of throwing up.
I was never bored.
yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
a lot of gross out stuff.
Yeah.
Theater was going fucking wild.
If vomit is your fetish, then you're gonna have a great time with this. So
If shit is your
Oh
fetish, you're
god.
also gonna have a great time with it.
Why
yeah.
would that be anyone? Why would anyone like that stuff?
I don't
You'd be
know. Why does
surprised.
anyone like anything? Yeah, you'd be surprised
Some
what people are
gross
into.
people out there.
Yeah, like there are. I bet for some people, like some people might whack off to like I don't know, like Sallow 100 Days of
Oh my
Sodom or
god.
whatever. People
Oh,
would probably whack off to that shit. Not, and that's like not an
always some
exaggeration. There are
motherfucker
probably
out
people
there
who are
who's.
into that.
I'm sure there's some person out there who's whacked off to Cannibal Holocaust or something.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Like people are fucking weird. So like compared to me, I'm like a sane person compared to some of the people who are into this shit.
Yeah,
I mean, no judgment, but like,
and normal.
yeah. So yeah. So but yeah, this
Yeah.
one it was great. Yeah, it would be so easy for this to be. I mean, it is on the nose, but like it would be very easy for a film like this to be just so obnoxiously like explicit that like you're just like groan or like roll your eyes saying like, "Oh my God, like I fucking get the point of this." It's like he manages to like make it very explicit, but like it's
Yeah.
so entertaining. It's like you don't even mind like how like in your face the commentary is, and like especially like the
Just the
last third of
execution
this
of
movie is
but
so fucking entertaining. Like the last third is so much fun. It's probably my favorite part of the entire film. So when like the shipwrecks and then like the
Yeah.
whole like hierarchy of class is just completely fucked because of their situation. It's so hilarious. I
Yeah,
really
and it's
love the last
like,
third.
yeah, even though
and
like
I
they're,
think I prefer.
oh yeah, sorry, Jules, you can go.
Yeah.
No, no, no.
Okay. I think I honestly I prefer like the scene in like the storm where they all just start like
That is one of
vomiting
the
and stuff.
best scenes.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
also
that
really
was
The
great.
stretch
that was
from
probably my
like
favorite
the
scene.
restaurant like scene all the way until the boat explodes is just some of like the most like blood pumpingly entertaining like shit like I've experienced ever. Like holy hell.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah, the
yeah.
cringe humor was just on point. Like
Yeah.
the old woman goes, it's like, so I noticed the sails are dirty. And
Yeah.
Woody Harrelson just goes, he just stands there with a confused look. He's like, man, this is a motorized vehicle. There are no sails.
Yeah, there's
And
so
then there's just
many
this like moment of silence, and then she goes, but the sails are
Oh.
so
yeah.
dirty. And then like and Woody Harrelson just doesn't like give a shit. He's like, fine, yeah, we'll clean the sails. It's like, oh my, that was probably the hardest I've laughed at the.
Really?
Honestly, I
Yeah, no,
think the arms dealer old couple was funnier.
oh
Oh,
yeah, that was also
when they
okay. I
blew
changed my mind. That
up,
was
oh my
hilarious.
god.
Look, honey, this. Look at this. Doesn't this look like
This
one of
one of
ours?
ours?
Oh, let's see. Yeah. Oh
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
Yeah.
But even though like a lot
When he
of it
called
is,
them like
oh yeah,
target precision democracy upholders or whatever the
yeah.
fuck.
But yeah, even though a lot of it like is explicit and in your face, like there's still themes, there's still subtext, like there's still so much to
Actually
uncover
has a
and
lot to
like
say.
yeah, it has so much to say,
Mhm.
like especially like the way the triangle is used within the film. I know this is something I mentioned in our discussion and that bit was cut, but like the purpose of the triangle has so much like purpose within this film. Like obviously it in itself is meant to represent the in your faceness about the film. Like they literally say the title Triangle of Sadness in the film when referring to someone's face. Like
Oh.
they literally suggest that it's in your face. But also like the triangle represents like the love triangle like at the end and like the three part structure and like a pyramid of hierarchy and like how that pyramid is essentially like changed and mismatched by the end of the film and like who stands on top and who stands on the bottom in
Mhm.
like workforces and like status and like wealth and stuff like that. And yeah, it's just such a it's like a film that succeeds in like all of its like points and like it like the performances are amazing and like yeah, even though like it has a lot to say and it's very funny, it still works in like all its filmmaking aspects. Like I said, the performances and like the presentation and everything. Like I just think this film is awesome. And I talked about the ending in the our latest episode, so I won't talk about that again. But yeah, it's just very great film. Like
Mhm.
there's a reason it won the Palme d'Or. Like damn, yeah,
Yeah, it's fucking awesome. Yeah. So
It's amazing.
yeah. Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty,
And I'm giving this one a 9 out of 10. So
Say
yeah,
9. Actually no, that's wrong. A 10 out of 10.
hell
okay.
This
Yeah.
yeah,
deserves it.
10 out of 10. Me too.
Yeah. I
Fuck
had
Alright.
this
yeah,
at an eight before, but our discussion made me think, yeah, I did like this a lot more than I thought. So yeah, 9. So, but it was probably stay it there.
yeah. I
So
think I
yeah.
had it at a 9, and then I was like, and then I watched it again, and it just flowed so much better, and I was like, oh yeah, and then I gave it a 10.
Hmm. Yeah. So cool. Yeah.
Alrighty, let
All
me
right.
change
After
up
Sun.
the poster. Yes.
Hmm.
Let's delete that. And let's edit this text to say uh after sun. Okay, cool. And now let's go get the poster. Da, 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 da. You guys can just talk about random shit while I get it, except I already have it on screen, so never mind.
So that was
Chris
pointless.
Chan
Yeah.
Yeah.
Top 5 Chris Chan moments. Number 5. The last years of of his life outside of prison.
Okay,
Have you seen the
after
video, Timmy, where
sun.
Chris Chan just walks past randomly in the background of some random news report?
Oh shit! No, 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 no. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I'm just
It's
super,
not.
super obsessed with the fucking Chris Chan lore or whatever. Like, I don't know if you watch those. I forgot who makes those, but like the guy who like makes those all those like documentary
Oh,
videos about like
the
Chris
deep
Chan's
voice
like
guy.
life or. I think so. I don't remember
Yeah,
his name, but yeah. So yeah, I really got
gotta
into it when I really got into the Chris Chan thing with Trash Taste, and then the deeper dive. It's like holy fuck, there's like an anime's worth of like fucking lore with Chris Chan. So yeah.
Okay, I don't know who this
he's
is, and I don't
been
care because the After
documented
Sun
since
thing is on
before I
screen
was
now.
born.
Yeah, both of you
No,
are.
don't look into it. Don't look into
Don't look into
it.
Chris
Whatever
Chan.
you do.
I was too enraptured by the lore of Chris Chan, but you can still save yourself. So don't look
Yeah,
into it. Jesus.
I
Yeah.
don't care about Chris Chan, and I don't know who Chris Chan is, but something I do know about and I do care about is After Sun. Because
Yeah.
holy shit, this movie very swiftly skyrocketed into being like one of my absolute favorites of the year. I
Mm.
absolutely fucking loved it. Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
me as well. I really love this as well. Um yeah, I didn't know much about the film going in, which is the ideal way to watch shit anyway.
yeah,
Um
Knew nothing about what it was.
Oh, Gen Geno Samuel. Yeah, okay,
I
that's the
want
guy who was
Jasper.
making the Chris Chan documentaries. Anyway, yeah, I didn't know much about the film going in, and I was honestly all the more to it because I was very glued to my seat with this film. Because for a movie that's like what, like an hour and 30 minutes, I think, it's like
Yeah,
it it
Kind
it,
of long.
it has a very slow pace, but I
really?
mean that in like the best way possible. You know, because like there's a lot of moments
It's
where
long,
like
but in a good way.
I don't think it
yeah,
felt
it's
long at
long in a
all
good
for
way.
me, honestly. I feel like I was just
I don't know.
engaged in
I
every
could feel
moment, and I was like, yeah, I'm loving this.
well, I could feel the pacing in terms of like I was so like there wasn't really much going on outside of like the intended like purpose of like the things that were happening on screen, if that makes sense. Um,
I
but
guess so,
I
yeah.
really liked that sort of like slow pace because it's like, you know, like I guess we're spoiling, you know, like it's from my interpretation of what's going on, you know, like the dad is played by Paul Mescal is trying to kind of delay his like end of the life road thing as long as possible.
Yeah.
So he's trying to do all this shit and trying to spend as much
Wait,
time
wait,
with
wait,
his
wait,
daughter as
wait, wait, wait.
possible. Uh,
I'm gonna quickly say, Jasper, if you're in the chat, Jasper, I want to show you this movie. So, if you don't want to be spoiled for it, just
Leave now.
leave until
come back
we.
in like 10 minutes.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
message you to come back. But yes, you can carry on now,
Out of
Timmy.
here.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because so at the end of the film, it's implied that he kills himself. He's like he's
Yeah,
gone. He's guns. He's
yeah,
Yeah,
done.
he
He's
game
gone.
ends
So
himself.
yeah,
yeah, he Minecrafted himself. Yeah. And that made me. That's what happened, you know. And it made me think, wow, like I kind of need to watch this again just so I could like get the full
Oh my god.
um
yes,
capture. Yeah, I mean I still haven't seen it again, but I want to watch it again. Where it makes me think not just like the things that actually happen on screen, like the actual like literal moments that happen, but also like the metaphorical ones, because there are a lot of moments where we see Paul Mescal in that fucking like rave disco dance
yeah,
hall or something like that. But there are also a lot of moments beyond that where we kind of get into like the fantastical, where Paul Mescal like walks into the ocean or whatever, and it makes me think, you know, is that what happened after the end of this film? I mean, like he goes into the fucking rave, obviously, but like in terms of like what actually happened, it makes me wonder if that was his fate after his vacation time with his daughter, because throughout the film you can see that he's not really in the great like mental state of things. He clearly is like, you know, very depressed, and he uses a lot of self-help books and tai chi and shit like that. um and but he just kind of like can't really deal with it anymore. He kind of like bites the dust, and
yeah,
I interpret that ocean scene as like what actually happened, because like all the fucking dance party rave shit is very metaphorical. But I interpret that as like the literal thing that actually happened. So, and I don't know if you guys agree. So
Yeah, there's definitely something to connect to between like him losing stuff in the ocean and like how it kind of just takes him as like this dark like abyss, I guess, because like the rave kind of essentially takes him as well, and all of the sequences where we kind of see Sophie as well in those rave sequences, kind of like looking back and like reminiscing. She's like you see flashes of her, and you see flashes of Paul Mescal, and
Mhm.
like yeah, the ocean, like he's taken by this darkness. The rave, he's taken by this darkness, and like even earlier, there's like suggestions of this. Like there's suggestions of his suicide by like that one shot where you see him like on the balcony and how he kind of like wears like these bandages to like cover self-harm and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
like and even like when Sophie drops the goggles, it's like kind of like the ocean taking away and like the goggles sinking into this darkness, and like that's another big thing of the film is kind of like the reason why he's kind of so he well probably why he's kind of really depressed and down is because you know number one, he's having serious financial trouble, like everything around him is expensive and he can't really afford to maintain himself, and he also had like a child at a very young age. The whole it's like kind of like a coming of age film, and you see like a lot of different like hookups and interactions in the film, and kind of how even Sophie herself kind of gets exposed to like having a child at like a very young age by the end, um and this like cycle, and
Yeah.
yeah, and like
Mhm.
and it was something that was just too much for like Paul Mescal's character, and it overtook him. And
Yeah.
yeah, and he
I
yeah
I just love how the movie doesn't hold your hand. It doesn't
yeah
spoon
no
feed you anything. It's like it doesn't treat you like a stupid fucking baby. It's like it's very much like you have to actively pay attention and
yeah
think about what you're watching for everything to click. It's like I wouldn't call this like a Synecdoche, New York or anything, but it feels like a Charlie Kaufman film where it's like Charlie Kaufman movies don't really hold your hand. They don't spoon feed you anything. They like expect you to like figure shit out as you're watching them, and this kind of felt like the same
yeah
thing. I don't think I don't like this as like as much as any of Charlie Kaufman's movies, like for sure, but like
I don't
it
know.
feels like the same thing for me. So yeah. Hmm.
This is up there and like one of my favorites. Like I just think yeah, I do really appreciate
Movies
about it.
ever.
And that's why yes, movies ever.
I mean,
And
on the
Wow.
letterbox 250, it's like what, like 100 something or
hell
whatever. It's
yeah,
already like super
slay.
high. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, like there definitely
Awesome to see.
is like you need to watch this film more than once to get the full experience. Like
Yeah.
not just
I'm
in like
really,
picking
really
up
excited to see it again. See what
not just
what
picking
may
up
come up.
yeah, but not just picking up details like of certain things, like there's a lot of details and like things you may not notice on your first watch, but just in terms of like its structure and like the purpose of the presentation, like it has so much purpose as well, like she like it essentially like reveals in the film that she's watching the tape recordings of the camera, and we see those tape recordings being recorded throughout the film, or not tape recordings, like camera recordings, whatever they fucking are, like um and like yeah, there's so many like elements of the structure, and then by when we get to the end, like it's not all it doesn't all take place like in one, like here's the beginning, here's the end, like there's different pieces to be put together, um and yeah, I really love this film, especially that fucking scene that I've just watched like hundreds of times since this
Under
film,
pressure
the under
scene.
pressure
Yeah.
scene.
Hmm.
Holy shit.
Unironically, this movie did a way better job of reigniting my love for Queen's music than fucking Bohemian Rhapsody
Yeah.
did. Like, I don't know how
Yeah.
that's fucking possible, but like that's what happened. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, that is like one of my favorite scenes of ever of the year. It's the best film ending of the year, I think. It's the best scene of the year, I think. I just
Oh yeah, I think like the last like 20 minutes of the
yeah,
movie made it really great
phenomenal.
because I was kind of like I was into it, but I didn't like see the masterpiece that a lot of people were saying it is. But then once the last like 20 minutes of the film happened, I was like, okay, I can completely understand. Yeah. So,
Yeah, it
Um,
really like recontextualizes everything so well, and like I just love that scene, like like how Sophie's also integrated into it. It like cuts between them dancing at the rave and like the like and like even the lyrics. It's like this is our last dance. Like that
Last Dance,
that's their
yeah.
fucking last dance.
This is
And it's
one of
like
those
oh
mo
my
yeah, it's very
god,
like it's
yeah.
very Edgar Wrighty or like Quentin Tarantino in terms of like the needle drop because like what I like about their use of music is like the music just perfectly fits
Yeah, it is
whatever the fuck is
perfect.
happening and it's
Yeah.
like it felt like one of those moments, yeah. So
Yeah, and I love how it like in the rave you can kind of see like flashes of like Sophie's emotions. You see her like happy, you see her frustrated, you see her angry, you see her sad, and you see her just
mm,
like pondering. Like there's so much imagery that focuses on reflection and like kind of how like Sophie is watching the screen and like of all these events unfolding and she's reflecting on it in herself, but also like the reflection of a TV screen because she's like watching all these camera like clips and everything. And I just yeah, this film just really it gave me such a like profound emotional reaction, like something I
mm,
haven't had like anything else this year. And this year's been
yeah,
fucking
It did
great for
tonight
movies,
when we
but
watched it
like
that's been
together.
a great fucking year for
yeah,
movies.
like
Yeah.
damn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jules, you have anything to
Yeah,
I heard you
sorry,
get a
I
little
was just
quiet.
kind of
Yeah, we've been
going off.
talking and so we just
Yeah.
want to hear what you're
Yeah,
thinking, so
Yeah.
it was. It was. I loved it so much. Really great performance from the child actress.
Yeah.
yeah,
As
Really.
well.
surprisingly she didn't suck. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Um, what else? Yeah, it was just really, I thought, relatable in terms of
Yes.
like how
Yes.
childhood innocence and how children think and like just everything that happens in it is just so sad, but also delightful in its ways. And yeah,
Yeah,
the
when
dad character is fantastic, and obviously,
mhm. Yeah, when the small boy that she was playing that racing game with, when they started
Yeah.
kissing each other, I was like, "Oof, is this 13 Reasons Why?" Like I mean, it was
in
a
a
I
shit
under
called
it,
2001: A Space Odyssey.
yeah. Yeah, so yeah, I had like one issue with the film
Hmm.
and it's that I this is like a personal preference. Like could completely understand if you guys don't give a shit, but I feel like I needed more scenes with adult Sophie because the
Nah.
film is clearly trying to like be this like reflective moment on Sophie's life where like she's looking back on her past. She's like trying to like piece together what happened to her dad and like kind of like, and the movie kind of hints that she's kind of going through similar things that her dad did and I think
Yeah.
they mentioned that they're the same age and that was the only part where I just wasn't feeling the intended emotions that they wanted me to feel because it's like they barely kind of explore that and I feel like there's like a missing 15 to 20 minutes of this movie where it's like it explores that her character like her adult character like a little more and so because I was missing that sort of parallelism between her and her dad and they mention it like kind of but like that was just kind of absent from the film and you could argue that's not the point and that's why I'm mentioning that's like this is a personal preference like not like what I would consider a major flaw or anything but I just needed that like little extra like like more stuff to feel like 100% feel all the emotions if that makes sense. So, yeah.
Oh, that's fair.
Hmm.
I thought you
Yeah.
could. Do you guys know that Barry Jenkins was a producer on this?
Oh, really? That makes
I
sense.
could
Yeah.
definitely see. Yeah, I could see his influence on it.
Yeah, I could see elements of like Moonlight in this. Yeah. So,
Oh yeah.
yeah. I mean, I think I like this more than well, I don't know. I haven't seen Moonlight in a very long time. I don't know which one I like more, but I don't want to
Both
compare.
Moonlight, yeah,
They're both great. Yeah. So, yeah.
they're both.
Yeah, and I'm giving this one an 8 out of 10. It's definitely closer to a 9. But yeah, I'll stick with 8 for now. So, mhm.
Yeah. I
Okay.
will give it a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Nice.
This, if Everything Everywhere All at Once hadn't come out this year, this would definitely be my favorite film of the year.
Yeah.
But right now, it's standing as my second favorite.
I think this is
hmm
my favorite of the year. Just looking back, I love everything about it. I can't stop thinking about it. It's weird. It's like I felt like all my favorite films just came out like at the very end of the year. Like, or for me at least, I was only able to see them at the very end, and this was like
Well,
the
not many good ones really come out during the start
yeah,
of the
they
year.
come
They
out
usually come
like
out during the second half.
Yeah, they come out during award
yeah,
season, which
yeah,
like makes sense.
yeah. So it makes
What
sense
are we
why all
talking
my
about?
favorites.
Megan is going to be the best film of next year. Shut the fuck up.
Well, I mean, yeah, 10 out of 10.
It'll probably
Fucking
be the
loved it.
first, so it will hold the number one spot at one point.
Yeah, that's fair. It's like when Grudge like was for a while the Grudge remake or whatever reboot was like the best film of 2020, but that was because it was the only film of 2020. Yeah,
Wow.
so
Okay,
yeah.
let me
So
put on the
yeah.
next thing.
Yeah, you should probably text Jasper that we're done talking about After Sun.
He'll
So
Yeah, I
come
did
back.
tell him.
Come
I
back
yeah,
I
for a bit.
Robert, you
told
can
him.
unmute. You can come back. You can watch the thing now. So
Okay, what's the next one? Banshees, right?
yeah, Banshees of
Yeah,
Inisherin.
do
Yeah.
Banshees.
Banshees of Inisherin. Spoilers. Okay, now let me get the poster up. There's Banshees, cool. And the poster is up. And I feel like even though I love this film, I feel like someone else should start. Cause maybe Jules should start.
Yeah.
I feel like we've been over talking you,
Um,
Jules.
Yeah.
Yay, Jasper's
Banshees of
back. Okay, yes.
Yeah. Introduce
We did watch this one, Jasper.
Ghosts of Ireland. Can talk about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. How would you feel, Timmy, if you were in a committing to the bit contest and your opponent was Brendan Gleeson in this movie?
I mean, it's funny you mentioned that because Barry, what the fuck is the guy's name? Barry Keoghan or something like
Barry
what?
Keegan.
Yogan, yeah.
Whatever. Yeah, Keoghan. When he says
What's the finger missing?
yeah, when he says, you should actually try to talk to him and see if he's actually like bluffing or whatever, or if he's actually coming. That's something I would honestly said. It's like you're
Yeah.
bluffing. Like you should actually try to talk to him and see if he's actually gonna commit. And like, if he actually cuts his fingers, then
right.
obviously I'll back the fuck off. But like, no one just says that and actually commits to it. Like very few actually commit to some shit like that. So yeah.
Mm.
And he was right. He can still play the fiddle with 4 fingers. Like,
Yeah, that lying bastard. He was like, if I cut all my fingers, then I'll never like play the violin. Then you just fucking play the violin, you fucking lying piece of shit. Like Jesus.
no.
So yeah. So anyway,
Yeah, the
eh,
movie is about two best buddies who one of them just goes, "Fuck you. I want to be alone. Leave
mhm.
me alone. I'm different."
I break up with you, Peter. I break up with you.
Yeah, and it was super fucking awesome. I really liked it.
Yeah, I fucking love this one. I love this as well. I think this is Martin McDonagh's best film. It's been a long time since I've seen In Bruges and Three Billboards, but based off of memory alone, I like this one the best. I fucking loved this. There was never a dull moment. I was so invested, I was so engaged from beginning to end. And very few films manage to be both really hilarious and really heartbreaking at the same time because I was laughing pretty hard at a lot of the jokes and a lot of like the comedic bits, but like the last like 20 minutes like really got to me, like when Colin Farrell's like
Oh,
kind of like has had like enough and he just like says fuck you, I'm burning down
Yeah.
your house or whatever, and Brendan Gleeson doesn't even get mad about it. He's like, yeah, that's fair, yeah, I kind of deserve this shit, so, and even
yeah.
punches the police officer when he's like crying over his donkey's death or whatever, or pony, whichever one.
Oh,
And I was like,
there's a donkey.
damn, like best friend, like relatable goals right here. So,
I think
mhm.
it's kind of sad from the beginning. Like that one scene where he's like, I just don't like you no more. Like, it's kind of absurd, but just in a way, it's like it's it's really like kind of heartbreaking in its own way.
Yeah.
Hmm.
No, I
Like
was
one of my friends said to me, like, I just don't want to be friends with you anymore. Like, I'd be devastated. Like, I think all of us
Yeah,
would.
and that'd be such a dick thing to do. It's like,
Yeah, to say it
because like,
so bluntly.
yeah, and like what I like about Brendan Gleeson's character, or I guess what I don't like, in the best way possible, is that like he doesn't give a reason, but then as the film goes on and he's kind of like forced to give a reason as to why he doesn't want to be friends with Colin Farrell anymore. He's like, yeah, he's dull, and like something about like like that bit with Mozart where it's like no one remembers Mozart for being an asshole, but people remember him for his music like 200 years after like his music has been released and stuff like that.
Which is
And
the same
it,
thing that Pa said.
yeah, it's
yeah,
like
Ta.
it's
Yeah.
yeah, it's like yeah, it's like it's kind of an asshole thing to say, and I think that's what's like that's what hurts Colin Farrell in this movie was fucking awesome. Like I think if Brendan Fraser didn't exist this year, I would like give the Academy to him in a heartbeat. Colin Farrell was fucking awesome. Easily one of the best male performances of the year. I mean, Brendan Gleeson was like great too, but like Colin Farrell like really brought in his A game. He was amazing. I loved him in the film. So yeah,
Yeah, no, these are like probably like well, I was about to say probably the best dynamic in a film I've seen this year, but then I remembered After Sun. So, but this
yeah,
is like
Yeah.
the best.
tough
I don't know.
competition. Yeah.
This is the best like bickering dynamic
Hmm.
of the year. I think I'm also on the path of Jules where like even though there were funny moments to this film, I it was mostly just like a really heartbreaking drama for me like the whole way. Like even though people are saying it's like a dark comedy and I totally get that, but for me it like succeeded more as just like a like a great drama on like friendship and like both of the characters have very two different meanings of how they decide to live. um Colin Farrell is just all easy, you know, he's chilled, he's happy just living the way that he is. But Brendan Gleeson, who's a bit older and like, well, he looks a bit older at least, he kind of wants to have a purpose, he kind of wants to do something for
Leave a
himself.
legacy.
Yeah, leave a legacy after he dies. He kind of wants to make a name for himself because obviously he's kind of like in this realization like, damn, I live on a fuck off island of Ireland and like I got to do something for myself. But he also does it in like the most like selfish and like shitty way possible, and it's like you really feel like for Colin Farrell. And like when he has his Joker moment is like easily like the best part of the film.
Hmm.
And I love that interaction at like the end. Like that ending is also very powerful. Like a lot of very powerful endings to films this year. But
Hmm.
I really love it because like it's kind of surreal and weird because like Brendan Gleeson kind of like it's like he kind of states that like, oh, I like him best when he's drunk, I like him best when he's angry, or not. He doesn't even say that he likes him best when he's angry, but like there clearly is this sense where like he thinks Colin Farrell, or what's his name again? The Colm is the one guy, and Patrick. I don't know how to say his name.
Patrick is Colin Farrell,
Yeah,
and
Patrick
Colm.
and
Colm
Colm
is
is
Brendan Gleeson.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he kind of likes Patrick when like he's expressing what he genuinely feels. I think that's the way he likes Patrick best. Because like at the end, like there's such a powerful scene where like I love how this film uses like the bickering between these characters and like uses the war as kind of like a backdrop, because this is essentially a war between these two characters. Like Colin Farrell eventually gets to the point where like we're fighting to the death. Like this is me and you, one on one. Like it takes two to tango. Um, and like that end where Colin Farrell's like, you know, they're like talking about the war with each other, and Colin Farrell's like, you know, honestly, some things aren't meant to change, and I think I'm fine with that. Like he is completely broken. He is like fully into not liking uh column anymore. And it's like, and it's just really sad because you get like this moment where it seems like Colin is actually starting to warm up to him again. Like he thanks him for like looking after the dog, and like that final line where he's like, "Oh, thanks for looking after my dog," and Colin Farrell's like, "Oh yeah, anytime." It's like, holy shit! Like
Hmm.
this relationship, this connection is like explored in such a like powerful way, and like there's such conflicting emotions going through all these characters, and they give such phenomenal performances, and I just thought it was fantastic. I really love this film too. And
Yeah,
like
it was
this,
fucking awesome. Yeah.
yeah, this
And I
is
know exactly because I what you're talking about. The scene that really kind of symbolized it for me was when that moment where Colin Farrell talks shit like to the cop and he punches him and Brendan
yeah,
Gleeson like picks him up and comforts him while
yeah,
he's crying. And it's like I think that scene symbolizes it's like, you know, Brendan Gleeson didn't stop being friends with Colin Farrell because he doesn't like him anymore. That's like not the reason why he did it. He clearly still gives a shit about him.
yeah,
He
exactly.
clearly still cares about his well-being. He's just, it's like you said, he cares about a legacy, he cares about like doing something important in life. He just like it's like what Jules said. He just went about it in the most assholey way
Yeah,
possible.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And and I think what's really, interesting is that like Brendan Gleeson doesn't really realize how much of an impact this breakup is having on Colin until like later near the end of the film. Like that scene where like they're just kind of standing across from the shore or the beach or whatever and just like saying, "Well, this is it. We're done. That's it."
Yeah.
It was really just awesome to watch. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
hmm
I also love how
I was
they.
really,
Oh yeah, you can go, Jules.
I really liked, uh, I really liked how like at the start you think like, okay, there's some sort of like reason for like him not being friends with him anymore, and that we're gonna find that out later. But no, it really is just like
He's just being a bitch.
demonstrate.
Like it's
Yeah,
like,
he's just being an asshole.
yeah,
yeah,
everyone's being a baby, but it's like
yeah.
it's like entertaining. So, yeah, and I agree, Jasper. They just need to kiss. So,
They
yeah.
that's how they would have solved everything. Like,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, if it became like "Call Me by Your Name" near like the end of the film,
Oh my
fucking
god.
perfection right there. Yeah. So,
No.
The, they just started, making out on the beach. The banshee
hmm
watching over them. Um,
I guess
Yeah,
this
the
is some
old
kind of
crone is just watching.
yeah,
I
I
guess I'm some kind
really.
of banshee of Inisherin.
Oh
So,
my god. I really love how they integrated like the banshee into the film. Like that old lady is clearly supposed to be the banshee, like, but it's
really,
also
I thought it was Carrie Condon. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, of course it
yeah,
was.
yeah.
So,
And like
That
and
was the old crone.
I thought it
and
was the donkey. I thought the donkey was the banshee.
yeah, and like I love how like there's a scene earlier where like the banshee, I guess, like the old lady is like she kind of says like, "Oh, I think two deaths will come to Inisherin." And like and I think like the lore of banshees is kind of like it's supposed to be warning of deaths towards people, but in this film like one of the deaths turns out to be like the donkey. um but you can also see it as like there's like definitely a death between like their relationship, like the bridge is burned, like it's done like that. And I really loved like the little line that like Colin gives at some point in the film. I can't remember where it is. Where he kind of like describes like the idea of the banshee. He's like, they used to scream and do all this shit, but now I think they just sit back and observe. And that's
Mhm.
exactly like what happens when you like kind of see that pullback shot of like her just sitting on the chair, like watching them on the beach at the end. And I think, yeah, there's
Yeah.
so many important pieces of dialogue in this film which relate to things. Even the supporting cast, like, gives off such important pieces of dialogue, but they're also great. Like, I love the Patrick's sister. She was a slay. Um,
Yeah. She was
What did you
um
say?
she was Mike's daughter-in-law from Better Call Saul. So,
oh, really? I
Oh,
wouldn't have
really?
known that. So,
yeah. hmm
yeah.
So,
Awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah, there was, yeah, like I said, there was never a dull moment. I was so engaged from
exactly.
beginning to end. I think this is the best script that McDonough has written.
Yeah,
Like
his
there
best
was just
movie,
not a
easily,
yeah, this is
easily.
there's not a single moment wasted. Like everything always has a purpose. There's always something coming back near the end. Like I thought
Yeah,
that Barry
rewatched them and shit.
yeah, exactly. Like I thought that Barry Keoghan's character was going to be like just some stupid comic relief, but he turned out to be an integral part of the film, you know? Like
Yeah,
it's you can see sort of parallels between him and Colin Farrell's character. You know, not like this isn't a very major like big cast of characters. It's
mm.
like four people and like that's about it. Um and like yeah, everyone brought in their A game. It was like it's a very focused film that very much explored every crevice of this like broken relationship, this like
Yeah,
this bonding out of friendship and shit like that. And it's like it's very well told. Yeah, like I said, it's like I got a lot of humor out of this film, you know, like I know that sounds really depressing, but I found a lot of things really funny, you know, but
no,
it's like it's
there
one of
was
those
so many
moments where
funny bits. Yeah, like the
yeah, there
bit
was so
where Barry blah blah blah. Dominic,
B-man, yeah.
Dominic, when Dominic fucking like shits on church and he like calls a gobshite, I laughed so hard.
Yeah, I laughed
That
at that too.
yeah,
Hmm.
uh, yeah,
Yeah, I always found it fascinating that the Irish Civil War is used as a backdrop for this film because you can
yeah,
definitely see a lot of parallels between that because the whole point of the Irish Civil War. I mean, I'm not an expert on that era of era of history because I'm not from Ireland and I don't know much, but from what I understand about the Irish
Yeah.
Civil War, it literally like succeeded the Irish War for Independence. So like people who used to fight on the same side are now suddenly fighting against each other and you can
yeah,
guess you can kind of see that parallel with Colin Farrell and Brendan
exactly,
Gleeson's characters.
yeah,
Yeah, so hmm
yeah,
I wanted
great
to
movie.
mention that the film had really great production design. Like it looked incredible.
oh
Like
yeah, it looked
I want to know
awesome.
what I want to know what real life island that was because it looked beautiful.
The location
Yeah, I
is
want to
very
visit
much
it.
a
Yeah.
character in the film, like
hmm
like
Yeah, Jules, you were the Banshee of Inisherin. Yeah, you did the thing.
It
Yeah.
was.
yeah. Okay, should we move on?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we have like
Yeah,
700,000 movies
we
left to
gotta
talk
talk
about.
about more movies. Yeah.
Yeah, so, and I'm giving this one a 9 out of 10. It was fucking awesome. Loved it. So,
Same 9 out of 10. Really great.
mhm.
I think I gotta give it a 10, honestly. I
Real okay, yeah.
Yeah.
absolutely
Yeah.
love this film
You've given
so
so many
much.
tens this year, Jesus.
It's been a good year. What can I say?
Yeah, it has been. Yeah, I don't blame you. Yeah.
This
So,
one, yeah, it's fantastic. Really worked for me. Um, and yeah, I just really loved it. Maybe it's a 9, maybe it's a 10. Who cares? It was an awesome movie nonetheless. Alrighty.
yeah. I really want to watch In Bruges and Three Billboards soon. So, I got to rewatch those, so.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, Three Billboards is also
Yeah.
really fantastic. Um,
Mhm. So,
okay,
yeah,
what's
anyway,
the
Bones
next
and All.
movie? Is it Bones and
Yeah,
All?
Bones and All. Yeah. Mhm.
Okay, Bones and All. Okay, let me get up the poster. I hope I downloaded a poster for this one. I didn't download
There was
posters for
some
all the
bones and
movies.
bones and all.
Was there actually any bones in this movie?
I mean,
Actually, no. Was there?
Tim Cham did say you got to eat me bones and all, so.
I know, but did we actually
Yeah.
see any bones? Is the question.
I thought for
Some
sure we
blood.
saw some bone in the opening where um Taylor Russell's character
Oh
Fights
fights
with the
off
yeah.
like
finger,
the
yeah.
yeah, I thought for sure there was bone. It's been a while since I've seen the movie, so maybe I'm just misremembering. So, yeah.
Okay, Bones and
Yeah,
All.
well, I guess in the meantime while
No, it's
Luca's
up
getting the
already. It's up
poster.
already.
Oh,
It's
okay,
it's
cool.
we're
Yeah.
here. We're ready to go.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I really enjoyed this one. I mean, uh Luca's the Guadagnino stan, so I'll let her say everything and all of once. But yeah, I really enjoyed this. I don't think this was a perfect film by any stretch of the imagination because I can't say I was 100% invested in everything that was happening. There were definitely moments where the film just kind of dragged for me, and I was
yeah,
kind of getting a little impatient. And
yeah.
if I'm being honest, Mark Rylance was kind of not good.
cringe.
if
Yeah.
that's just me, I don't think he was that great. I mean, like it. Thankfully, the film doesn't like require like I thought Michael Stuhlbarg was like a much more threatening presence than Mike Rylance, but he was like in only one
I don't know what
scene.
he was doing.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck he was going for with this one. I mean, thankfully he wasn't in the movie that much,
Girl.
but yeah, it's I don't know what he was going for. Yeah, it was yeah, but yeah, overall it's a very solidly well-made film. Like I loved the look of this movie, and then Taylor Russell and Tim Cham were obviously great as well. Yeah, I mean I liked Call Me by Your Name way more than this. I think I like I Am Love more than this. I'm still deciding between the two, but yeah, overall solid film, but you know, I had some like pretty big flaws with the film. So yeah, Jules, what about you?
I really liked it mostly. Like, as you said, it's got some major issues. I think probably the running time and like some of the pacing decisions and Mark Rylance doing whatever the fuck he was doing.
Some
Like,
weird shit.
yeah, like
Yeah.
some. Oh, but we got unfinished business.
Yeah, I don't know what he was going
Me
for
and
at
my
all. His accent was
me and my
so
dad
weird.
have been in, and my dad have been impersonating him ever since we both saw the film.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
great direction. It was made America look really beautiful for once.
for once.
And yeah,
Yeah.
only other piece of media that's done that was Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh, that's fair. I'll give you that one.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of pretty good, really good performances from Taylor Russell, solid performance from Tim Cham. Um,
I honestly thought she was the
well,
best part of the film. Like her performance was the
yeah,
best part. Yeah.
no doubt she was the best thing about this film.
Yeah. So yeah, I just
Cham had that one kind of like really kind of badly delivered line of dialogue where he was like, "We
I thought
gotta
his
do this.
accent.
We have to do this."
Yeah,
His
I thought his
it was kind
accent
of
was kind
distracting
of
at times.
inconvincing. Yeah, it was kind of
Yeah.
distracting at times because it's like I get he was trying to go for a southern accent, but at times he just talked he kind of slipped back into Tim Jam like normal talk, and I was
See
like,
why
ooh,
I don't see
yeah.
why he had to do the southern accent to begin with.
Why did
He's
anyone need to be a southerner just
He's
in general?
American
Because
already.
everyone was going for a southern accent, and I didn't understand why. Like it just didn't make any sense to me. So, like, if Mark Rylance just like talked normally, I would have been fine with that. Like, I didn't see why he needed to be this like cartoonish like Southerner. I mean, it didn't like distract me from the film or anything. It wasn't like a bad thing. I was just curious as to why this was such an important thing, you know? So, yeah. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
I
Luca.
really like the world of the. Oh,
Oh,
oh yeah, sure.
no, Jules, just yeah, finish your point. Yeah.
I was gonna say I really like the world of like the eaters and stuff, and
Yes.
like how the rules of it all. Like I thought it all kind of made sense and seemed like reasonable to a certain extent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's an
it
underground
it really
society. Yeah.
justified and like kind of explored like the people with cannibal all this weird thing like cannibalism. Like it made it feel really realistic within the world and how there was like there's the old creepy cannibal dude, and then there's like these other cannibal people, and like some dude that's not actually a cannibal but like wants to be one. Because obviously, like even in like normal fandoms and like normal like real life, there's like weird fucking people that aren't supposed to be a part of the friend group, but they like try their best and they like try to like there would be a fucked up person in our real life that wants to be a cannibal, so it makes sense if like that there would be people in this film
There
that
was a cannibal in one of Guadagnino's films before.
oh my gosh, stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's his name's favorite movie is this one. Army
Yeah, I
Hammer.
really wanted more moments of that because, like, I thought that scene where Michael Stuhlbarg and the director of the new Halloween trilogy, um, when he's mentioning that like he isn't an eater, but he like wants to be, and like Tim Cham is like disgusted by that. It's like you fucking freak, and this is coming
Yeah.
from a fucking cannibal. It's like I thought that was so interesting, and I wish the film kind of explored that a bit more. Because again, I understand the whole point of this film is just to be a romance road trip movie featuring cannibals, but there was just so many like interesting ideas that I just wish kind of got like further explored, you know? So, but that's just me.
I think I was happy with how the ideas were explored within this film. I just think it didn't fully win me over in terms of like some similar stuff that you said, like the runtime was long and it got a bit slow at points with the pacing and stuff. And
Mhm.
some narrative elements felt a little tad bit weird. And honestly, I wasn't fully convinced by the performances. I think Timmy and Taylor slipped up a bit at points. I actually really liked Mark Rylance. I really liked that character. I don't.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I think he was like perfectly weird and surreal enough for this kind of thing, but he still felt kind of real and in reality. Like, some creepy old dude like that's a fucking cannibal. Like, I don't know how else the fuck they would have done that. So I mean, it's Luca Guadagnino. He has like these really distinct and characters, and I think this was certainly one of them. I liked him. But yeah, I really like the world and how they decided to explore this kind of thing. And even for a
Yeah.
film that didn't, like, I was like, when I was going into this film, people were like, "Holy shit, this film is disgusting," and it didn't even have that many moments of like explicit. Well,
Yeah, I was
yeah,
expecting
like,
some like Green Inferno Eli Roth
yeah, I
shit.
was expecting
And
like,
it's like it was so disappointing on that angle, yeah.
but
So,
I don't even
yeah.
think it was
I was pretty
disappointing.
satisfied with
Yeah,
it.
I think it managed to
The scene where she
satisfyingly.
bites the girl's finger off, I was
Yeah,
like, ooh,
holy
that
shit.
was like a real
Oh,
gross
yeah,
Yeah,
that was
moment.
brutal. I was shocked by that. I
Yeah.
did not catch that. Like I was surprised by that. I wasn't expecting that. I was like, "Holy shit." Like you got me. You got me there. Yeah, so.
yeah, like I really liked how they used the sound design and like gore, I guess, even though there wasn't a lot of it. Like, by the end of the film, it really won me over. Like, I actually really liked that ending, and like, even though like when they said the title of the film, it was a tad bit distracting, but it was also kind of fun. Like, oh, you gotta eat me, bones and all.
Wanting
Like,
to eat me,
Name of the
yeah,
bones.
movie.
yeah, like, yeah, the poster is really
What are we
cool as
gonna do?
well.
Eat 'em bones and all?
And like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I
Finger
just
licking good.
I really like the world, and I really like how they explored this kind of idea. There was a few moments and things that didn't really work for me. I don't think it's Guadagnino's best, but it is still very much a Guadagnino film, and that was obviously rarely gonna work for me. And
Yeah, I
I
think
really liked
Guadagnino's
it. Yeah,
touch. Yeah, I think Guadagnino's touch really like helps elevate this because I can imagine if this was in the hands of someone like Eli Roth, this just being the most exploitative bullshit ever. But
yeah,
but with this, it's very much done in taste, not to use a
Yeah.
pun or anything, but like yeah, it's like I like that scene where Taylor Russell visits Chloe Sevgeny and like it reveals that like she ate her own
yeah. Like,
arms
that's like,
off, like so
holy
that
shit.
that was
Oh yeah.
horrifying. I was like, what
Yeah,
the fuck?
And
So
she
yeah.
randomly attacks. That actually got me. That was like a Bilbo teeth jump scare.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah.
yeah,
Anyway,
So yeah,
yeah.
like
I think
genuinely
I think I think
terrifying.
just
Yeah.
like I think just like the thing that makes it work that comes with like Guadagnino is that just like you can make these relationships between two people who are like cannibal lovers somehow feel like relatable and real, like uh, to like yeah, it just feels real and it works,
Hmm.
and in
yeah.
hands of a less competent director we would probably be complaining about like why would we relate to these characters, they're cannibals, but no, yeah,
Yeah,
you can relate to these,
it would I can imagine like Eli
they're
Roth's
invested
version of
in them.
this. Yeah, like
Oh
fucking
God.
Green Inferno Part 2 or some shit like that with this. That would have been fucking awful. Yeah. So,
But
yeah,
yeah,
so
it was still really great. I think. I'm
yeah,
I'm
it
I'm,
was
I'm
good.
always
Yeah.
gonna love me a Guadagnino film. Um, Jasper just says nothing more relatable than wanting to eat the person you love, and that makes me kind of
Oh
concerned.
yeah.
Hell yeah.
Um,
So true. So
um,
true.
but yeah. I don't really have anything else to say about it. I just,
Yeah, I'm pretty much done. Yeah.
Jasper,
yeah,
you should have turned to Luca at the end of the film and been like, I would never do that to you.
that. I had to make sure that he did say that to me. We watched this together. We watched this film together. I was like, Jasper, you
It's
better
a
not do something
crazy
like that to
film
me.
to watch together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like you have to look at them like you won't do that to me, right? Like,
Did you do that to me?
I can imagine taking like a first date onto this film and be like,
oh god.
yeah, that was good. Yeah. So,
I
so
would never do
yeah.
that to you though.
Oh, sure, whatever. Yeah. I'm giving this one a 7 out of 10. Uh, I want to say it's closer to a 6, but there were too many good things about it where it's like I don't think it's closer to that. I'll just stick with the 7. It's a 7 out of 10. So yeah.
I'll give it a 7 as well. I think it's pretty good. I like it.
Hmm.
Yeah, really
Wouldn't say.
solid, really great in many aspects. I think I'm also at a 7. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's good.
777.
It's good.
Fucking won the jackpot, baby. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Alrighty.
Okay.
What is the
Uh,
next film?
Bardo, I think is next, right?
Auto.
You guys
Mhm.
need to have the list. I don't have the list, but is it bottom?
Yeah, Bardo's next. Yeah.
Ellie.
Oh
So
god, what's the
mhm.
full ass
300
title for this movie?
Esmond.
Bardo,
Bardo?
some fucking long ass title shit.
Bardo,
Bardo,
False
False
Chronicle of a
Chronicle
Handful
of a
of
Handful
Truth.
of Truths.
Okay,
Yeah. So
False
yeah.
Chronicle of a Handful of Truths. Holy
Yeah,
shit.
Alejandro Gonzalez Iñárritu really likes his long fucking titles because like Birdman's like full
Does.
title is like Birdman and the fucking unexpected virtue of something something or whatever. It's like Jesus Christ, pick a
Birdman
fucking
and the
title.
Unexpected Virtue
Another
of
one of his films is
Ignorance.
just called Babel.
Yeah, it's like fucking pick a lane, Jesus, like Christ. So yeah, so
Okay, let me get the
yeah.
poster up.
Hmm. Does anyone else want to go first with this one? I feel like I've gone first with a bunch of other shit. So
Yeah.
Jules
Don't
can
know
go
how I could
first.
describe this film.
yeah, how do you?
Okay. Okay, it's all set up if you wanna go.
Yeah, Jules, do you want to start us off?
Yeah, sure. Um, it's a film directed by Alejandro Gonzalez Iñárritu, director of Birdman and The Revenant. About a journalist called Silvio. Um,
Who's just
who's
basically
being
Iñárritu. Yeah.
who was Iñárritu. Um, and he is being he's going to accept an award for being a cool filmmaker and writing such good films.
Mhm.
Um, he's going to pick up that best picture for his film Sparrow Man. And weird shit ensues.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Very surreal, mind bending, pretentious ass movie.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was. I think that's the
If The
best.
Fablemans is Steven Spielberg's biographical film, this is Iñárritu's film.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is basically the Fablemans if the director's
Fablemans, but
head was,
epic.
but if his head was even further up his own ass, because this movie is just pretentious to the bone. And but the thing
But there's a
is
point
like
to
with
it, is the thing.
yeah, I know there's a point to it, but
Yeah.
even beyond that, like you could call pretty much most of Iñárritu's films pretentious. I mean, like you could call Birdman
Call
pretentious, but the
every
thing is,
single one of his films pretentious.
yeah, but like with Birdman, because I saw a
Sorry
lot
about
of
that.
similarities between this and Birdman. Like with Birdman specifically, you could argue it's a pretentious film, but like what you can't argue is just like how not only just how incredibly well made that movie is, but like how focused and how singular its vision is in terms of what it wants to communicate. Like you could call Inarritu a hack for like claiming superheroes are cringe or whatever, but it's like it's still very much a focused idea that he explored from beginning to end. And with this one, my big issue with this one is that like it just seemed like he kind of like took everything out of his toy chest and just threw that shit against the wall and just see what stuck. Because there were some elements that I found really, really fascinating, but then there were other moments that I just found just completely obnoxious and just so fucking annoying. Like I think the scenes that were just explicitly him jerking off himself, where he like people just like say you're a pretentious douchebag, blah 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 blah. And he's like, well, yeah, well, you're mediocre. You
What are
have
you
nothing to
gonna do
say.
about it?
I'm like pushing the boundaries, and it's like, God fucking Christ, like we get it, like. You people think you're kind of cringe. Like I fucking get it, you know? It's like because the things that I found the most interesting about the movie were the moments where it got super super surreal, like the fucking like baby popping out of his wife's vagina every now and then,
Yeah.
and him like exploring his
Egg
family's history, like
titties.
yeah, and titties, and like him exploring like his family history and his roots, like a la like Satoshi Kon style. It's like these were the things I found the most fascinating, and they were just grinded to a fucking halt just for Inarritu to jerk off about himself for like a couple minutes. It was so annoying. You know, I'm probably the only one who thinks this, but I'm curious to hear what you guys think. So
Well, he definitely does that, but there's like it's this movie's like weird because like it's weird in the sense like it's fucking weird. But it's also weird in the sense that's like yes, this is kind of like about him and about the public perception of him and how he like expresses himself and expresses his vision. And there is a point to him being like self-indulgent about it. Like maybe like it just stands on a weird point where like yes, this film is pretentious and yes, there's a point to it. There's definitely like a really interesting point to this film and that really ties itself together very well at the end. Like there's a scene of the main character at the pool and he's kind of like saying like, yeah, this is I'm just living in like a fantasy world. And like this whole film is just like a weird trippy fantasy world, and that's kind of like his ideas through like making film and stuff like that. And I think that even though it does feel very like oh I'm super cool and making a super cool meta ass movie about myself and stuff like that, even though it does give off like this kind of like that kind of feeling, I still really appreciated this film for like being ballsy and weird even though it is pretentious. It's like it's such a weird fine line, and it's like I don't know, it's kind of like you can say a Charlie Kaufman film is pretentious because in a
yeah,
ways
I
it
could
kind of
probably just
is, but like
I know this sounds hypocritical for me to
yeah,
call something super pretentious, and like sure, I guess you could say that like I can be a bit
You look
pretentious in
stupid.
terms of like yeah, I like Charlie Kaufman, I like anime, I like Kubrick, all this shit. But
yeah,
the thing is, it's like when I talk about things like that, it's like those ideas are just very much very focused and very self-centered and very just like this is something that you need to pick up, and that but it's like worth discovering, it's like it's worth getting to at the end. So and this
yeah.
is why I referenced Birdman, because like Birdman, like you could argue, is just as pretentious as this, but the reason why
Ooh,
I'm
I
not
don't
bothered
think
by Birdman
so.
and why I fucking love it is that Birdman is very focused on what it wants to do. It's like it's carried, yeah, it's like a very intelligently, very awesomely well-made film. Like the cinematography is awesome, the writing, the acting, all that stuff. But like what really makes it for me with that one is that like there is a singular idea, and it is very, very honest and very explicit about what it's trying to communicate with that one, and that's why I loved Birdman. And you could argue they do the same thing with this. And don't get me wrong, like I didn't hate the film. I overall liked it. I really enjoyed it overall, but there were just some moments where it just goes way too far into the stratosphere that I was just genuinely frustrated. I was like,
Yeah,
there are so many cool ideas that if it just picked one, even if it was the things that I found obnoxious, like him like saying about how like, oh, I'm a genius or whatever, but like people make fun of me for being a genius or so. Even if it was that idea, as long as it's like very singular and it's very focused on what it wants to talk about, then like I don't have an issue with that. My issue is just that it talks about so many things, but it doesn't feel very focused in terms of what it wants to
I think
specifically
it
mention,
feels
you know?
decently
So,
focused. I think this is a very cultural film for him. It's a very personal film for him. There's
hmm
definitely like the sense of like Mexican culture and expression between like bumping between Mexico and America, and there's definitely the sense of like, him putting himself in his own shoes of himself and his thoughts making a movie, and like the kind of meta reactions people give him and how he chooses to express himself in that way. um yeah, even though it does like it is surreal and all over the place, I think by the end it does really justify itself, for the stuff that it
oh,
chooses
yeah.
to
hmm
express. Even though in the beginning I was watching this and I was like, "What the fuck is this?" But I feel like it's kind of self-aware in the sense that he knows he is this kind of person, he, but also him knowing that he is this kind of person also still makes it a bit like self-indulgent. So it's kind of like riding a weird line. But I think
Yeah, that's why I was a bit
yeah,
annoyed because like
yeah,
I love the ending too. I thought the ending was great, but just my issue is that like
In
it's
the head.
yeah, it's like it's in the yeah, it's like it's sort of like a Deadpool thing where it's like you're self-aware and you know you're doing it, but you're still doing it anyway. And I just found that kind of
I
I'm
just
trying to
think
find the right
this film
word for
just
it.
did it in
Yeah.
like a really interesting way. Like I feel like if you are going to make a film about yourself and this like sense of like self-indulgency, this is the way to do it. This is probably the like one of the best ways you can do it. And it still
I guess
does have a
so.
lot of
Yeah.
like genuine themes to dissect, and like genuine aspects of culture and filmmaking and love and passion in that way. Even though it is weird and it is out of the ordinary, and it does feel like, a bit, I don't know what a good word for it is, a bit like in your own head, a bit, um fuck, I don't know what the
Yeah, I
word is,
mean,
but
like,
yeah,
I will say this, like, out of like the catalog of like movies where directors just jerk off about themselves, about how great they are, and like, their childhoods or their memories, like this is definitely one of the better ones. Like, I liked this way
yeah,
more than like,
exactly,
I don't know, something like Belfast or whatever. Like,
yeah.
I definitely did like this way more than that, but like,
Jeez.
yeah, it's But yeah, yeah, there was just some things that I was just not clicking with, that I was not vibing with. And it's strange because it's
Yeah.
like I really love Iñárritu's previous films. I've only seen Birdman and Revenant, but I fucking love those movies. And like, but this one I was just I think this is the best scenario where it's like I might need to watch the movie again because in spite of all the things that I've said, I do actually want to watch it again because it's like one of those where it's like I don't know, maybe if I need to see it again, maybe if I really like look deeper into this,
Yeah,
like maybe I'll just like I'll I'll um I'll really get into it. And to be fair, this is not a poorly made film. This is fucking like on a technical level, this film's awesome. Like the
yeah, exactly.
cinematography is great. Like the long takes in the film that are like just basically a staple of Iñárritu's filmography at this point are awesome. Like the
Yeah,
writing is on point, the acting is really great. It's like it's a very technically well made film. I just wasn't really clicking with what the
Agree.
movie was giving me. Yeah, so sorry, Jules, what were you saying?
I was gonna say the choreography of like the big battle scene at the palace of all the
Oh,
yeah.
soldiers
that
firing
was that
muskets
was
at each
really
other. Like,
fun. Yeah.
yeah,
And the
yeah,
dances and everything, and the near the middle, yeah.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
even
Mhm.
like I think I also just kind of liked it by the end, because even like once I kind of got what it was going for, even if it is like a super self-indulgent movie, like you said, it's still a really well-made movie, and
Mhm.
in general, it is kind of just kind of fascinating to watch all of the events unfold in this movie. Like, there's like a like there's a train with like axolotls like filling up with water, and then there's like a dude like leaping in the desert, and like all this
Yeah, I don't
weird,
like how that ripped
surreal
off the opening
stuff.
from Jujutsu Kaisen.
And even if like it is, even if there
That was a
wasn't,
joke for all the weebs out there.
yeah, I do not get that.
I'm sorry, yeah,
No
keep
idea
Yeah.
going.
what you're talking about. What the hell?
Yeah.
Yeah. Even
So
if there was no like greater themes to uncover in this film, it was still just fascinating to watch what the fuck was going on. For me at least. Like in like its
mhm.
really great presentation and stuff. And yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say this: I was never bored. Even though I was frustrated, I was always entertained. So yeah.
That sounds
Um.
like
No,
an
So Jules,
oxymoron.
I felt the
oh sorry.
runtime was a bit like frustrating at times.
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely feel the runtime as well. Yeah, I
I was
mean,
like,
like I said, I I was still frustrated for a good portion of this movie, but I can never say I was bored the entire time. So yeah.
yeah,
So
I checked
yeah.
out a little bit, but I was like, there was always some weird shit to kind of bring me back into it.
Yeah, so Jules, I wanted to ask you, I guess like where do you kind of stand? Because it feels like Luca's on one side of the line and I'm on the other side, but a little closer to her. So I just wanted to know where you're kind of
Um,
feeling on all that. So
yeah, I think it's well made. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, it is pretentious, but like, that's just the thing with his films, and I don't think like that necessarily implies that it's bad. But this
Yeah.
one is kind of frustrating in like its self-indulgence, definitely, like
hmm
more than any of his other films, and also like its runtime, like it's almost 3 hours. Like it's like fuck me, like
Jesus
just
Christ, yeah.
just
hmm
get on with it.
hmm Yeah, like say what like
So
a lot of movies like this have like they just don't kind of respect your time, you know? It's like they want to make it as long as possible because like The Fablemans was I think as just as long as this and was Roma as long as
really,
this? Because Roma was also a movie
But
about
Rome is
Alfonso Cuarón's life,
phenomenal,
right?
so
Roma's great. I love Roma. Yeah, but I just want to know how long it is.
Roma's
It's like,
fucking
I don't think a
amazing.
movie like ever is a waste of time. Like if you watch something that's shit, you can just turn it off if you don't like it. Like
Roma was
mhm.
2 hours 15 minutes,
Okay, yeah. So,
actually shorter
hmm
than this.
yeah. I just remember like Belfast being unnecessarily long, and I was just like, "Fuck you!" Like Kenneth, go fuck yourself, Jesus. So,
I
yeah.
mean, it's just
I
like
didn't watch
it's just
Belfast.
expressing passion. Like if you
hmm
make like a 10-hour fucking video essay on something that you love, like who cares? It's just
Yeah, that's
expressing
fair.
like if you're gonna make something about yourself, then like it doesn't matter its runtime because it's about you and it's you expressing what you want to express.
hmm
So even if there's
Yeah,
a
that's fair.
movie with like a director that I hate expressing some bullshit, like it makes sense that um like they would be in length. But yes, Jasper said in the chat, like some movies also do very much not justify this type of thing, like the runtime and the things that they are
Yeah.
expressing.
hmm
Like there's some things
Like
that
I
are
think.
Definitely entails.
extraordinary long and are saying nothing. Like there is a bit of a difference, but yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I just think that even this year it just feels like so many movies are just so fucking long and just they're just not justified whatsoever. You know, like it's just like you could shave off like 15 to 20 minutes and just literally nothing would have changed. So,
yeah,
but yeah, Luke, I
Yeah.
100% agree with your point, you know, like I'll take back what I said about like people making movies about themselves are just so like yeah, that makes sense. Like I
yeah.
agree with what you're
Like
saying.
film's a
Yeah, it's
point of
like if they're
expression. Like even if a
hmm
shit director makes a 3-hour movie about himself, maybe some of that isn't justified, but it's not a waste of time to the person that made it. So it
hmm
makes sense why they would do it, even if it is a shit movie, even if it's fucking
hmm
garbage. It like
Can't wait for the
yeah,
Snyder cut of
it
Zack
yeah,
Snyder's autobiography about himself. Yeah.
yeah. But also yeah,
Yeah.
there is
Ends with him writing Justice League.
Yeah.
But
So,
yeah, like Satan Tango, that movie's like fucking like 8 hours long, and it says jack shit. Like that. That is an example of of like
wasting
Ugh.
time.
wasting
Yeah.
time. And
I
there is
haven't
a
seen
bunch of
Satan Tango.
movies.
I'm honestly really hope one of you recommends it one day because I just want to see it
No,
for
No,
myself and just like see it
no.
out. Okay, yeah.
No.
It's
Okay, maybe this is just gonna have to
it's
be me
long
then.
and
So.
it's boring, and yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. So, yeah, this one with back to Bardo just a little bit before we get ended because I think we just said everything we wanted to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I was. I kind of forgot. This was a kind of personal experience. I hadn't seen an Inarritu film in a very long time, so not only were there so many long takes, but there's so many you know, like so many very creative camera angles where I was like, oh fuck, I forgot this is what like a Inarritu film looks like. Like this was especially the case during like that fake like soldier fight or whatever in the castle. Like a lot of
Yeah.
like really cool like camera work and stuff like that. It's why I'll never hate this movie, even if I think it's like really, really self-indulgent and up its own ass. Like there's just so many well done technical aspects of the film. It's like I can't hate this. It's like it's so well made, and I'm really happy that Inarritu got to make the movie he wanted to make. Like 'cause
Yeah.
even if I don't think it's perfect, he got to make the movie he this is his thing. He this is what he wanted to do, and if he's happy with the final
Netflix
version,
bought
then
it for a shit ton of money, probably.
yeah. I wonder what the budget on this film was because this film looked expensive.
Did I? Yeah, this is.
Yeah.
Ooh, I want to check that out.
Netflix
Netflix
probably
Yeah.
don't have
dumped
release
a bunch
budgets
of
though.
money on it because it's Inarritu. He made fucking Revenant and Birdman, and then he was like,
Yeah,
"Oh,
it's
I
like
have all this money now. Okay, I'm gonna make a movie all about myself, and it's gonna be very mixed, and a lot of people aren't gonna like
I think it's
it."
fucking hilarious that Inarritu got to make this film with Netflix, even though Netflix, like years before, said we are no longer financing like self-indulgent
Oh
projects
yeah,
from
like the life.
crazy directors, because like the
Yeah,
Irishman or whatever, because they
Scorsese
were trying to talk shit about Scorsese with the Irishman. It's like, but this is the thing that you
and
just
Bernie
said you
Sanders'
weren't
wife
going to
talk
make.
shit about them.
Yeah. So yeah, whatever. So
oh, Jules
yeah.
left.
Yeah, he'll be back. Don't worry. This happens like every time. So
Yeah.
yeah. So,
Uh,
but yeah, while we're waiting for Jules to come back, I guess we can give our ratings unless you had anything else you wanted to say.
no, no, I don't have anything to say.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I'm gonna give this one 6 out of 10. It's closer to a 7 than a 5 for sure. But yeah, I'll stick with 6.
Yeah, I'll give it a 7. I liked it, but it's
Hmm.
it's it's still kind of like a frustrating kind of.
Yeah,
Yeah, I have nothing against frustrating films. Like Synecdoche, New York, and
Yeah.
like I'm thinking of ending things are frustrating movies, but I fucking love those movies. This one, it wasn't just
This one
clicking with
was.
me as much. Yeah, so.
Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah, I think I'd give it a 7. I really liked it. I think,
Mm.
yeah, it was weird and surreal, but I liked what was going on and I liked what it was saying, even though it was a bit douchebaggy at
Mhm.
points. So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the
Okay,
next?
so
What's the next
the
movie?
next film is Broker, but Jules and I have not seen it yet.
Oh, okay. Well,
Um,
then let's not do that one.
we can, I mean, unless you really want to talk about it, but
Yeah.
yeah, we should
No,
probably
no.
skip it. Yeah.
Let's do one we've all seen.
Okay. Then the next one
Oh,
is
I want
Fire
to
of
talk about
Love.
Moonage
So
Daydream.
Fire of Love. Hell
Okay,
yeah.
yeah.
Fuck
Fire
yeah.
of Love then.
yeah. Okay.
Fuck yeah.
Well,
Is
I
this
don't think we can
our?
talk about Moonage Daydream either, because Luca and I haven't seen that. So.
Is this? Should this be our last one then? Because we all
I mean,
haven't
we have
Yeah,
seen.
I
X.
got
Well,
I
we have.
gotta it's
Oh, okay.
I
Well.
gotta I gotta it's almost like 12:30 at night, so
Okay.
I
Well, I
kinda
want
wanna
us to
go soon.
briefly talk about X and Pearl, if that's okay. Like
Yeah,
we
yeah,
don't have
go
to talk
first.
about Fire
Well,
of
I
Love
haven't
very
seen
I
long.
don't
haven't
want to
seen
talk
Pearl.
about those. Those were like boring, and I have nothing to say.
Okay.
There
Well,
was some
I
good
want to at
kills.
least complain about X because I think we've all seen X. Just purely because I'm just trying to okay, let's skip it. Let's just jump to X
No,
first.
just
We'll come
just
back to
jump
Fire
to
of Love.
X
Yeah.
while I get the Fire of Love poster.
Okay. X, for whatever the fucking reason, is getting all this masterful praise, and I don't understand why. Like,
I
and
don't know.
Pearl is
Like I thought
getting
it was
just
like
as
a
like
I thought it was like
yeah,
a fine little slasher.
yeah, it
Like
was
I
decent. It
put
was
it
like
as like a
fine.
7.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's like I don't really know what the difference is between this and just like every other generic slasher movie I've ever seen. Because it's like people were saying this is
Maybe
like
Maybe it's like
subversive
because
and
like
different.
people who jerk off like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which I mean, there's no Texas Chainsaw Massacre is like a perfect movie. It's like
Yeah.
incredible, but maybe because they just like that, they just like this for some reason. It's kind of like a it's kind of like the thing that I like.
Yeah, I get why like horror fans like it because they like the scary
Yeah,
slasher stuff. They like the blood and gore. And like, yeah, that's fun and entertaining, but
that
like,
movie provides it.
yeah, but I kind of need more than that. Like it's funny you mentioned Texas Chainsaw because this movie is clearly like trying to
Oh
pay
yeah,
homage, but
definitely.
like but Texas Chainsaw Massacre is like 100 times better because like the what's scary and like intense about that film isn't the violence itself, it's like the motivation and like the atmosphere surrounding the violence. This it just felt like people were just fucking dying for the sake of like slasher movie bullshit,
Yeah,
you know? And I just
naked
don't
old people
understand.
scary.
Yeah, and I just don't understand like what the like massive appeal for these movies are. I just don't get it. Because Pearl was boring as fuck. I was so bored with Pearl.
Yeah.
I just did not give a single shit.
Okay, I have
And
the Fire of
Running
Love
to see
stuff
Pearl.
up now.
mhm, yeah, I don't know. Like Luca, you saw both, right? I'm curious to see which one you preferred, X or Pearl.
I don't know. I I I I guess I don't know. Like X, I think I liked more of what like the concept and what they were going for, and like I preferred the visuals of X. But Pearl was also kind of wild and weird. But they were also just both like Like I don't know which one I liked more because I wasn't really vibing with either of them. So
Yeah, I gave both of these films the same rating, but I liked X more just purely because I was just more entertained with X. I was so
Simple.
unbelievably bored with Pearl. I was just did not care about anything that was
I
happening.
don't even I don't even know what Pearl's about. I know it's about like the character of Pearl, but like what the fuck is there to say? Like
It's
she
literally
there's
just like,
you know all what you need to know about her from that film from X itself.
yeah, essentially Pearl is just an explanation as to why Pearl is a sad boy. Like that's just it. That's the only purpose it serves.
But we already know that. Like we get all the explanations we need. Like
Well, apparently we needed to
in
know
the
that
scenes from
uh Pearl
yeah,
wanted to
okay.
be a
I'll
and now
star or
turn.
some
there's a
shit.
third
I'm gonna
Yeah.
turn off these
the
layers
third
until you
one
guys
being
are done
made.
with that.
Yeah, I hope the third one is more entertaining because I was insanely bored with
Max
both of these.
XX scene. Really
Hell
bad
yeah.
title.
Yeah, we're back to porno shit. So, yeah. And Mia Goth playing Pearl also was just it just happened for no fucking reason. I mean she was good.
Liked it.
I
I
thought
liked
she
it.
was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought she was great in the film. Oh God, Christ. I thought she was great in the film, but there was just no real reason as to why she had to play this and the other character from X. There was no real reason other than just aesthetic choices, I guess. But like that's about it.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
she's a good character performer.
hmm yeah, she was great in some other movie. I'm fucking trying to figure it out. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I'm done. I'm done talking about this. I gave both 5 out of 10s. They're fine. They're
Now for a yeah,
Okay.
I gave X a 7 out of 10. I thought it was fine. I liked it.
mhm.
Um.
Anyway,
Okay.
Fire of Love.
Fire of Love.
Yeah,
Good movie.
Fire of Love. Um, yeah,
Okay.
it's a documentary about two volcanologists study volcanoes, that sort of crap. And I don't actively seek out documentaries because I am not a nerd. I watch movies. I don't learn shit. School
Wow.
is
Watch
no.
anime. Don't
Yeah.
complain that you're not a nerd.
You're more of a nerd.
Um,
I think this
yeah,
is my favorite documentary of the year. I
I
think.
also think this is my favorite documentary. I mean, I don't watch a lot of
I think
documentaries.
Moon Age Daydream was better. I think, but yeah, this was
Okay,
really
yeah.
good.
I feel like I'm never gonna get the full experience of Moon Age Daydream because it's like
Yeah,
intended for an
you're
IMAX
not.
screening, right? I just can't like I won't ever experience it for the way in the way it's
Still
supposed to.
looks
So,
incredible either way. Yeah,
hmm yeah, but I really
try and
enjoyed
watch it
this.
on the biggest screen possible.
Hmm Yeah, I really enjoyed this. I I was a bit annoyed for the first 20 minutes by like Miranda July's like weird whisper talking. I was kind of
She
annoyed by
always
that a
sounds
little
like
bit.
she's gonna cry.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. I got used to it at a certain point, but in the end, like I feel like documentaries
Please
just kind of like have this
enter the
insistence of like needing like narration, but
Well,
like I feel
yeah.
like there was
It's
so
all
much
Moon
like
Age
interesting
patrons
shit
as well.
happening. Yeah, I thought there was just so much interesting shit that's happening in this film, and like I feel like the visuals just like speak for themselves. Like you don't really need this like Miranda July narration, you know? So that's
Well,
just me.
the point of documentaries is to like educate and document stuff. Like you kind of have to have someone there telling the story. You kind of have to have someone there to provide the context for what's happening. Because like yeah,
But
there
I
is
feel
a
like the
ton of
characters themselves do a good job of that too when they like explain like
Yeah.
why they like researching volcanoes and like how like the tectonic plates like
yeah,
shift work and stuff
but
like that. It's like I thought they do a pretty decent job on all on their own.
I mean,
So
but this whole
yeah.
film was just like it was like scrapping together like the old films that they had in like their house. So there was
Mhm.
obviously like a lot of mispiece steps. You can't really just like put together a whole bunch of these random I don't know if pieces of imagery, random videos and pictures and stuff.
That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah, like they
Mhm.
kind of I didn't mind the narration. I thought it was fun and dramatic for this kind of story, and yeah, it gave it like a kind of brooding, moody theme, which is kind of like what this
Always a
film is about, like volcanoes. And I really loved how this film like talked about our planet and our environment and like the purpose of volcanoes and the maybe the people in this film were like
you
a
like
bit too into volcanoes,
the
but
like aquatic isms.
I love how much this felt like like the life aquatic. Yeah, it
Yeah.
very much felt like
Yeah.
a real life version of the life aquatic. I think I said it was like the life volcanic because it very much
Yeah, the
is like
live
that.
volcanic.
Like yeah,
Like volcanic,
they
yeah.
literally wear the
So
same costumes as in the life aquatic.
yeah,
Like
yeah. I thought
yeah,
I was waiting for someone to mention that. Yeah, so
yeah.
they would have made excellent members of Team Magma from Pokemon Emerald, so
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
yeah.
always love these documentaries that like it's just like it's the kind of stuff I want to make of like where there's just like a ton of footage already available and you can kind of
And just
just let it
splice it
speak
together.
for itself. Yeah,
Hmm.
and you
Yeah.
can just let the people themselves tell this story of like incredible visuals and also of love and also of the danger of volcanoes.
Yeah, I can imagine like editing like a documentary like this being just so entertaining, just
Oh
because
yeah,
you have to
I
like,
really want to do it.
yeah, you like to just sit through all this footage and like listen to them like
Okay.
very passionately talk about, their area of expertise. It's just I can imagine it just being really fun. Um, and that's and I think that's what's best come across. It was super fun. It was super entertaining. Like I'm not the biggest like you know, science person in the world, but the way that the documentaries presented it, it got me interested in the subject matter, Like I was so invested. So yeah, and the visuals look awesome. I love the look of this documentary, like in the footage that they used. Um, like and there were just so many
The
lines that like really
volcanoes looked
stuck with
incredible.
me. Yeah, the volcano, like the volcanic footage like looked cool.
Yeah.
And like a lot of
And
the
the
lines like really stuck with me. Like Maurice like said something really interesting where it's like I'm not a filmmaker. I'm a volcanologist I'm not a filmmaker. I'm a wandering volcanologist that has to make films in order to wander or something like that. I was like really blown away by like very cool lines like that. So yeah.
Yeah, it's such a like this is a documentary, but it's just such a personal story about like these characters' lives and like
not
it's
characters, they're
kind of like
people.
yeah, they're not even characters
Hmm.
about these people's lives. It's kind of like Decision to Leave, like at the end the
Not
girl dies to the
comparison.
water and she's like a figment of the sea. In this movie, they like are all about volcanoes and they literally like die like trying to
Die to a
research a
volcano.
volcano. That was so like so heartbreaking like figuring that out. It's like holy shit, like these people were really so dedicated to their
The fact that
passion.
they
And
like died holding hands and stuff. Or
yeah, it's just like
like it was super sad.
Yeah, a part of me was like, damn, maybe they were kind of into that because these people like really loved volcanoes. Like,
Yeah,
they
I
were
can
they were
imagine
going
they
on
so
must
to,
have.
into it.
ride on a volcano.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
like,
I can imagine these people wanted like had sex like like next to or on top of a volcano or something. That's what would have happened. That's what I would have done if I was super into volcanoes
if
as
the
much as
Come into
them.
the volcano for me, babe.
they were
Yeah.
like, yeah, when they like probably at the end when they realized the volcano was probably gonna blow up, they were probably like, you know what, we should just embrace it. And it's like, it's kind of like
Yeah.
a beautiful story,
I
and
think
like,
that's what they were willing to do anyway.
yeah, like
Mhm.
They were
they
like,
were willing to
we,
research these.
they acknowledged the work was dangerous. They were like, but we just need to
Yeah,
do it.
Yeah, they put the
Science
they
purposes,
purposely put
and also
themselves.
because
Yeah.
I felt, yeah, for
Yeah.
science purposes, and like they felt like that was the only thing they really wanted to do. I think like
hmm
they would have been
they
happy with
fucked the
like just
volcano for
watching from a
sure, says
distance.
Casper, and Happy New Year
They
too.
fuck. They spooged into the crater.
Oh god,
That's what I was thinking the
that's so gross.
entire time. Yeah.
Maurice has a massive one. Then if he could fit that in there,
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Do you think the crater could handle his okay, I'm gonna stop the joke right there. I'm
His
It
just
erupted.
eruption, but
yeah.
no, yeah, but
yeah.
I'm erupting.
oh my god, stop.
Volcanic boom. Yeah. Clearly we don't have
Uh,
much else to say if we're just making sex jokes at this point.
well,
Yeah,
I think, yeah,
it
you guys are
was
talking about the visuals,
excellent.
and it's just this
Mhm.
film was one of the best looking films of the year. Like, holy shit! And like, not only
Yeah,
did
it was
like
awesome.
the raw footage that they had just look amazing, but like there was also like these lovely like animated segments to the film, and just like lovely editing and presentation choices to really put this thing together. Like, there was such great sound design and imagery to go with it. Like, it really provided such a grand sense of beauty and scale to the volcanoes. They very like they felt so. I mean, yeah, like it
Dangerous
really
beauty to
justified
volcanoes.
why they loved volcanoes so much. Like, this film
Mhm.
showed us
Yeah.
that they are like these beautiful things, and like, yeah, like
They're dangerous with like the mudslide bit. That was like
yeah,
it's
the
like
lava
horrifying to
fishes and
think
Yeah.
all of
about.
that. Like,
It
yeah,
surprisingly was intense. Like, and I didn't think I'd ever say that word in like a documentary, but yeah,
I
I
mean,
was super,
documentaries are
super
the most
invested.
intense
Documentaries go
things.
up
Yeah,
intense.
it's
Yeah.
because they're
Yeah, I mean,
real.
okay, well, to be fair, I
Seen
don't
The
really watch a lot of.
Rescue? You seen Grizzly Man?
Oh, yeah, I guess. But I don't watch a lot of documentaries, so it's like it really takes a lot for me to watch one of them. And yeah, this was like, yeah, I can imagine like Werner Herzog like
Recommend. Good.
narration, just like if complimenting well with something like that. It's like the heat of the volcanoes. It burns their fiery
Well, we
passion
got
for
the
not just
Miranda
their
July that was
science.
like, they live together forever at the depths of the volcano. That was
I
like
would
the
have.
narration of the film, but I liked it. I don't know. I thought it
Mhm.
worked well. Yeah.
No, it was poetic. I really enjoyed
Yeah, it
it.
was
Yeah.
poetic,
So.
and like it, their story was kind of like a poetic story. Like, it was just all about love, and yeah, it was like it's called Fire of Love. It's like about the burning, sparking love they had for each other and that they had for volcanoes. And even though this is like a film all about volcanoes, it's also like very much about the two people that are documented. Um, yeah, they
Yeah,
should show
I
this
know this
in
premiered in
geography class. Honestly, fuck it, this film is awesome.
yeah, they should. Yeah, I wish I saw this in like a theater because I know this premiered at like Sundance and like
Yeah,
just because only to see like the cool visuals on a big screen because like when I this was on Disney Plus for me, so
Yeah.
I saw it there and I just
yeah.
didn't feel like it was doing it justice. So yeah.
I think
So
I still got my TV is pretty big, so I think I I think I still got like the grand scale, but like yeah, like I wish I could have seen it in like a big screen or
Yeah,
probably
that's
like
why
an
like I
IMAX.
feel like I should just never watch Moon Age Daydream because it's like that's intended for an IMAX screen and just I want to see it in the way it's intended, you know? So, and I love David Bowie,
Well,
so like it hurts me that
Yeah.
to say that. Like I
is it not
love
going to
Bowie's music.
cinemas near you?
I
Edge,
mean, it already premiered,
Moon
I
Age
think.
Day.
Yeah, so
Uh,
I already missed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just never got around to
I'm
seeing it, so
getting it
it's
in cinemas soon, so I'll go watch it in cinemas.
wow, you're so lucky.
Just watch it, Timmy. Like,
Okay, all
just
right.
go ahead and watch it.
Yeah, all
Love
right,
talking
fine.
about it.
Yeah, okay, yeah, we will.
It's
So,
incredible.
cool, yeah, and
Doesn't rely on narration or anything.
I can
It's just
imagine because
like
I
a
think I saw
pure
his Kurt Cobain
edited
documentary.
spectacle.
Yeah, so
Yeah, it's kind of like that, but just turned up to like a ultraviolet level.
hmm yeah, so cool. I think we're done. I think unless
Yeah,
anyone
I
else has
guess
anything to
I'll.
say.
I'll. Oh yeah, yeah. I don't have
Yeah,
anything to say.
7 out of 10. Great. Yeah. So
I think I'll give this like an 8. I think I give it an 8 when I saw it.
mhm.
Yeah.
The second best documentary this year.
Yeah, no, this is currently
The
my
only
fave
documentary I've seen this year. So
fave
Watch
docu of the
more.
year. I really loved it. 8 maybe. Yeah. Yeah.
It's hard. We don't get many good documentaries these days in like a land of like flicks releasing one every week.
yeah, it's like I guess it's
Yeah.
just that like there is just a
The
influx of
Netflix ones are good,
documentaries.
to be fair.
Yeah, the Netflix just shits them out every year, so it's like, so I mean, I think I saw the documentaries that Obama produced. So I enjoyed that
The
one
one that
as
looks like
well.
a Far Cry game.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So, yeah. Well, that's
All
uh
right.
that's all the movies, I guess.
Yeah, let me
Um
unclick that. Unclick
All of
that.
the movies.
Yeah, if
Is that
anyone
the
is
stream
interested,
then?
if anyone is wondering why we didn't talk about Glass Onion, we're going to be talking about that in the next episode. Um, not the
Yeah.
next episode, as in like the episode that's going to be released, as in like our next recording. That's when we'll be talking about Glass Onion. So, yeah,
Which will
Yeah.
be
Which will be sometime next
in the end.
year. Well, we
yeah,
don't know
pretty
when
much.
it'll be out, so don't say a specific date because we don't want to.
Yeah.
It should be out on next Friday based on the schedule, but you
Well,
know
next
me, I'm
Friday
Mike.
will be the Avatar and Pinocchio, and
Yeah, that's when it'll
that
be out.
one.
So, yeah, but
Hopefully.
knowing my computer
Obama
determines fucking
Obama
whenever.
made some nature documentaries for they're on Disney Plus, and they're
Oh,
kind of
cool.
Oh
actually
Yeah,
really
yeah,
good.
I'll
yeah.
check them out. Yeah.
Obama's nature
So,
documentaries. Yeah.
anyway, I think it's like
The
1
poster
a.m.
looks
for
like a Far
Jules.
Cry
So,
game.
yeah, I
Almost
know
1
the
a.m.
meme.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's 1 a.m. for Jules, I think. So, I think we should just
I
call it
gotta
quits
get up
for the
at
day.
7:30.
Oh,
All
Christ. Yeah,
right.
get to
7:30.
bed. Yeah. All right. Thank you,
All
everyone.
Right.
okay.
Bye. Thank you
Bye
for a
Bye.
great year,
bye.
everyone.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely
Bye.
Happy New
amazing.
Year's and
See you guys next
Yeah.
everything.
year.
Happy New
Anime.
Year.
Next year,
Yeah,
season 2.
Yeah. Watch Moon Age Daydream. Bye bye. Bye.
that
Okay,
stuff.
bye.
Bye.